Hello, 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 and we are back. In this video, what is today? Thursday. It's Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Just had dinner and the kids are getting ready for bed. So we got this video is talking about tickets availability, where you can get your tickets, where some opportunities to volunteer or places we could use some help. What we can do, the grant committee, grant and money update, and that's about it.
Yeah, I think that's.
I think, and then the basics back to Saturday upstairs. So, number one, tickets and availability. How many tickets and how many people, kids included, is that came in today?
We had a handful more tickets sold today and some kids. So by our calculations, we probably have roughly 15 spots left.
We think we're probably around 35 right now with
Yeah.
the kids.
Yeah. So we got probably about 15 or so tickets left. So if you want to order them, you might want to just go ahead and do it sooner than later.
Yeah. Another question we had today in the comments was, where can you buy the tickets?
Oh, as always, you can buy the tickets on yeahmovement.com. That's YEAH movement.com.
And if you guys don't know by now what YEAH is, then someone write it inside the comments below, because by now you should know what YEAH. Say yeah, say yeah, say yeah. You want affordable housing? Yeah. So that's where it came from.
Okay.
Next thing, we had another good question that said, do you guys have a list of opportunities to help or volunteer? Do you have positions that you need filled? Do you have titles or categories or main priorities?
Right.
What's your main priority? So that was a really great question. So we're going to throw out a couple of things that we could definitely use help with.
Yeah.
I'll do one, you do two, and we'll do three together, okay?
Okay.
Number one, prayer. Okay, so we need as much positive love and light prayers that you guys can possibly put inside of this thing to keep the momentum rolling smooth, to push away all the things that might be in the pathway, let it be just straight path and smooth sailing the whole way. So a lot of just positive vibes and good energy prayer this way. That's number one.
Yeah.
Number two.
Yeah. Along with that, protection and correction. Occasionally, while we're running about our business and handling all the stuff we're handling, some people that maybe aren't as involved and haven't watched as many of the
Maybe
videos,
they
they haven't gotten themselves up to speed on exactly what's going on. They sometimes come in with weird ideas or preconceived notions, or I don't know, they read like a couple of words and then they squirrel off and just jump in with comments that don't apply or aren't correct. And so if you have been more involved and you've been around and you know something's incorrect, feel free to jump in there, because again, like, it's 8:30 p.m. now, so if we get on there at 8:30 p.m., it might have been misinformation in the comments all day.
And then those 2-3 with no correction equals this long misinformation. By the time we get to it, it turned into a big
thing. Yeah.
And then there are a couple people that have been doing really well, and thank you for getting our back, especially like, how much does it cost? Why are you charging? And then many of you guys are stepping in and be like, groceries?
Yeah, groceries cost money.
Just base rental. So thank you to those people. But yeah, if you guys see stuff on there, help us out. That's number two.
Yeah.
Number three, you can show up. Show up on Saturday for dinner, meet the mayor, Q&A, meet the small groups that's gathering together, meet your tribe, meet your people. This doesn't just mean Saturday, because Monday, guess what's on Monday? City Council. Guess what's on the following Tuesday? Or, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Third Tuesday.
The third Tuesday of the month. Guess what that is? Planning Commission. Guess what's on the fourth Monday? City Council. You guys get the rhythm?
We go to all those.
Every last one of them. All of them. And we take your testimonials, which is what we're talking about right now. The letters of support, the letters of testimonials, or DM me, us, the videos.
Yeah, you can do that for now. I'm working on putting up a thing on the website, but I was working on a lot of other
Big things
administrative,
today. Big.
like research and stuff the last couple days. So I'm going to get back to the website thing and fix that up so that you guys can submit your testimonials and letters on there. But in the meantime, if you have a testimonial either about why affordable housing is so important to you and your family, if you've run into issues because of a lack of affordable housing, you can record a little video, like maybe 1-2 minutes. We want to keep them fairly short. Or support if you've been to the dinners, if you've been to the potlucks, if you've been, if you basically whatever you've seen us do, just a little shout out of support.
Your story. Sometimes pets are an issue with affordable housing. So not only is it hard to rent a place alone, but if you have a dog, it's even harder.
Right.
Or if you have a cat, it's even harder because rental with pets.
Yeah.
Maybe single mom with kids. And it's hard. Maybe fire insurance. Maybe you can't even buy a place because you don't have any fire insurance. So,
yeah, all the things like people having to move away. There's a million things.
Just tell your story.
Yeah, any way that the lack of affordable housing has impacted you and your family would be helpful. So yeah, you can just record a short little video and just send it on Facebook Messenger.
We'll do it. Or write a letter, bring it to the dinner, or wait for the website to come up, and we'll give you more ideas on that.
Okay, perfect.
Next.
So that goes into
priorities. Yeah, so those are some of the main priorities: prayer, protection, correction, and show up. And then the next biggest thing is grants and money.
Yeah.
We're moving into a stage now where grants and money is our next biggest step, whether that's land, we have construction. What else, babe?
Yeah, we're gonna need, because we have a piece of land all of a sudden, so now that piece got sped up, so that's awesome. But now, we're gonna need someone to survey to mark the edges of the land. We're gonna need some, we're gonna start needing money to put in the hookups to get the
city
utilities.
hookups.
We're gonna need, for plans for the actual building. We're pursuing a lot of research and reaching out to contacts now, clearing the land, and then actual construction. We're gonna need to secure funding for all of that. So I'm doing a lot of research working on that, and we do have that team of people who's going to be working on researching grant possibilities, but also some of it is probably going to be private funding of some sort, which brings you to...
Yeah, we have another guy that is interested in joining the grant committee. So I don't know where we are now, 5, 6, 7. They're probably all going to be there on Saturday. So if you want to learn how to write grants or interested in helping with the grant committee, to grant groups, and just gather and get together, that is our next biggest step. And then which leads over to windfalls, money. In the last month, we've probably had 3 people come up to us saying a loved one has passed away and willed over a small windfall, 10 grand, 20 grand. I've heard 40 grand, I'm just saying that in the last month, we know of 3 people already, and 2 of them, I don't want to get too specific, but 2 of them wants to really push specifically to help with the tiny house movement. The other ones are we're just talking about in general, and they're just asking for what business advice would you do with that if you were in my shoes, whether tiny house or any firewood company, just anything, And so we're just saying that as our beloved baby boomers generations make their graduation and ascension, as our beloved elders make it through the next decade into their senior challenging years, and us, our generation, becomes new caregivers, in the next decade, there's going to be a lot more windfalls, which means money is moving from parents to kids. And it's just interesting that in the last month, we've gotten 3 different conversations about what to do with 10 grand, 20 grand.
And it all fits together too, because a lot of this, like we were just talking about, some of the projects are intended to create a situation where people can live multi-generational and have a caregiver present on the property and still maintain some level of independence for their loved one who needs care also. And doing it the way that we're trying to do this would allow for people to do this and on their own land and have a better quality of life for everyone for less money than it would cost for other, you know, like you don't want to have your loved one have to go into like an institution if you can help it, because a lot of those places are not
10 grand a month,
not good either. So, you know, this is just not only more economical, but it's a better quality of life, and it makes for a stronger family and a stronger community. So just all around it's better. So if resources are going to be changing hands anyway, why not put it to use where it's going to make a big difference? It's going to shift the whole paradigm. It's going to change the way everyone does this from now on. And I think that's where everyone's evolving too. But
okay, and so now today's next big topic is, how did your meeting go? What did you learn?
I had a meeting today with a woman who does work with a lot of grants for community development and building. And so I had a really great conversation with her. The route I had originally come to her asking about is probably not actually going to be feasible, but the conversation was still really great. She gave me like 5 really good contacts, and I've already reached out, and she gave me 2 other ideas for different routes I could go, different types of grants that we can go for, and some of those would be pretty viable. So between some private grants and some lower interest financing, and probably some private, investors like this. If we had a handful of investors that had, 20,000 or something that they just got gifted and they don't know what to do with, this would be a good opportunity to create a win-win that way. And support something that's doing good for the community at the same time. So there's a few other avenues that look like we could round out the picture. Instead of federal grants, we probably want to lean more on private grants. So this is all stuff that we can talk with our grant people that are going to be assembling and hash out and figure out what our targets are. But we're moving everything forward.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Because we don't want it to just be affordable. We want to help as many families as we can. And as right now, with state law, county law, which trumps everything else, we could help at least 3 families, or 3 individual people or families, right? But we want it to be affordable. That's number 1. And the second thing, it needs to be profitable.
Right.
Okay. Sometimes there's a little squirrel thought somewhere from some other people that like, why isn't this free? Why isn't this free? Why isn't this free? It's a mix in spirits. Like affordable does not mean free.
Right.
Affordable just means here's market. We're going to go below market. And now people can become self-sustainable. If you only had $500 rent, wouldn't you have extra money at the end of the month so that maybe you can start your own business that you've always been passionate about and help the current see current? Can't you help it flow because you have affordable rent and it's less than 50% of your income?
Right.
Which is a miracle.
Yeah.
Because most of us are 50, 60, 70% to rent anything with limited rent, with a dog, with a restriction.
Right.
And so that's what we're trying to say is that every process that we do from here that ripples out to the county has to go. It has to be affordable and profitable.
Yeah.
It's a spiritual principle to be profitable. Did you guys know that?
Because how else can we continue to take those resources and then move it
to the next property and the next property and the next property?
Right.
These are all spiritual principles. Yeah. So a lot of my metaphysical friends everywhere and everybody that's inside of Mount Shasta that has little tendencies towards third dimensional brick and mortar lawyer fees, fines, and earthly possessions and money paradigms, third dimensional. And then there's a lot of fifth dimensional metaphysicians and ho'oponoponoists and super etherical and brainstorming events way up here that's not grounded down here. And there's a lot of people with just money with no spirituality.
Right.
And so what we are trying to say is we have to become a hybrid.
Yeah.
You have to be both worlds.
Yeah, we have to bridge it.
You have to bridge both worlds. You have to be successful at the third dimensional world of brick and mortar and six-figure incomes. I believe everyone in Mount Shasta and this whole county deserves to be six-figure families. Easily. Just that should be our base minimum. I call it classy hippies. Everybody should be at a spiritual high and make money, be good at business and money. We need to be both worlds. We can't just be one and not tethered to the earth, and you can't be just all earth and not heaven. So we got to be in the middle. And so when Rhea told me about this big meeting that happened, those three things where you have other grants that are for affordability. The other grants was for low interest loans or grants of some kind. Yeah. And the other one was private. Those three things together equals not only affordable, but we can make it profitable.
Which means that we can do another one. So
two,
then we can do another one
three,
that gives
4,
3 families
5,
something affordable
6.
They can live in that also will generate enough that we can make another one. And that's the plan. You have to walk a fine line, because if without those specific things, then you can't make it affordable, because otherwise then it's costing you money every month. So we have to walk this line, and if we do it the way that we're planning it out, it can work. It can work. And we can still make sure that it's below what the average market rents are, like a good portion below what the average rents are.
Very healthy.
And we can still have enough left over that we can move it in and then do another one. So that's how we're just gonna keep stamping it forward.
There's a lot of investors with housing and real estate, but they're all profitable. They're not affordable.
Right.
So that's normal paradigm.
Yeah.
That's not our paradigm.
No.
And then you go over here where it's affordable, but it's not profitable.
And then they lose their property.
And that's your fifth dimensional metaphysics, whatever. You're way over here, but you cannot roll into another one.
And you can't even keep the property.
Yeah,
after so long, then it falls apart and it gets repossessed, and then somebody else owns it.
What we're trying to say to you guys is that with those three things, here's a really, really basic solution. By spring and summertime, we're already we're close to 10 people on top of this grant thing right now. We're probably at 7. By spring and summer, I promise on everything in my life, I'm gonna call 30 people. I'm gonna have a whole team of 30 people. If I got 30 people with Rhea to focus on these three things, these low grants, these affordable grants, these low interest grants, and these private private what do you call that?
So it's private grants. It's low interest loans. There's a specific category of loans, and then private investors that would come in. Private investors.
I need 30 people to pay attention to these three things. That's all. That's all. Because together, if you place that much attention on top of these three things and you put energy into it, we're going to figure out the Rubik's Cube on all three of them. If 30 people can gather and figure out the Rubik's Cube, try this, try this, try that, try, fail, work. Try, fail, it works. Try, and it works. Once you get all three of these things together, we now can get all the land and put all housing on top of there to help multiple families, and they are affordable and profitable.
Yeah.
That's why it's such a big deal.
Right, because then we can keep it going.
And in the county specs, they already made a blueprint that countywide in any city they already have housing blueprints.
Yeah, she also directed me to there's a website that has housing plans. So there's already blueprints and plans for like 5 or 6 different styles of homes that the plans are already available to you. They're already approved by the county, so that
How much
they
does
can
that
be built.
save us?
Well, the projections I saw were that would save us anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000.
So instead
Just
of
by
us
using
designing 10, 15,000, we already have a blueprint that's already pre-approved, which saves us a bunch of money. And now if we can focus a team of people to focus on these 3 things, and we solve it in a year, 2 years, whatever it takes, once we solve it, it'll ripple off to being affordable and profitable. So win, 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 win. All right, Saturday, 5 p.m., Soul Connections upstairs, Event Center. Don't be late. Tacos, vegetarian, vegan, and all the food options. Kids are free. $25 online, yeahmovement.com, YEAH, yeahmovement.com, or $30 at the door. That's it.
That's it.
All right, now we're going to bed.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Love you guys.
Okay, bye.
See you tomorrow. Bye.